Picture this. A humble shepherd, out in the fields, probably more used to sheep than speaking truth to power.
Right.
And then suddenly, he's delivering these incredibly stark warnings to kings and nations. It almost sounds like something out of a legend.
It really does. But that's exactly where we're going today, isn't it?
It is. We're diving into the Book of Amos from the King James Bible. Supposedly the actual words of Amos, a herdman from Tekoa.
And the timing is significant, too, during the reigns of Uzziah in Judah and Jeroboam in Israel. And there's that mention of an earthquake, too.
Yeah, that earthquake reference really sets a scene, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Suggests a time of maybe instability or heightened awareness.
Well, and Amos himself is striking. He wasn't part of the usual priestly or prophetic circles, an outsider.
Definitely. An ordinary guy called to give some pretty extraordinary and probably unwelcome messages. So our mission today is to really get into the core of what Amos was saying. We'll look at his pronouncements, first against the neighbors.
Like the surrounding nations.
And then maybe even more sharply, against Judah and Israel themselves. We want to figure out why these messages mattered so much then, and, well, what still hits home for you today.
Okay, let's do it. Where do we start? With those judgments on the nations.
Yeah, let's dig in there. He has this recurring structure, right?
Yes, that for 3 transgressions, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. It's very deliberate.
It really builds this sense of, like, the final straw. Judgment is coming.
Exactly. A line has been crossed.
He kicks off with Damascus, Syria. And the accusation is brutal. Threshing Gilead with threshing instruments of iron.
Oof. That sounds incredibly violent.
It does. And the punishment. Fire on Hazael's house, breaking down their defenses, captivity.
So a clear pattern starts. Specific cruelty leads to specific, harsh consequences.
Then Gaza. What was their crime?
Carrying away the whole captivity and handing them over to Edom. It sounds like a violation of maybe sanctuary or some agreement.
And the result? Again, fire and the rulers cut off. It's consistent. Then Tyre. Similar offense, delivering captives to Edom. But Amos adds something specific. They remembered not the brotherly covenant.
Ah, that's interesting. That implies a pre-existing relationship, doesn't it?
Yeah. What do you think that meant? Like a treaty?
Probably. In the ancient Near East, these brotherly covenants were serious things. Mutual support, loyalty. To break that was a major breach of trust.
So, another fire on their walls for that betrayal.
Makes sense in that context.
Edom's sin is described really intensely. Pursuing his brother with the sword, casting off all pity, just holding on to this rage.
The language is powerful. It conveys this deep, unforgiving hatred.
And the response, fire again, on Timon and Bozrah.
It escalates with Ammon, though. Their transgression is horrifying.
What was it?
Ripping open pregnant women in Gilead just to expand their borders. I mean, the level of cruelty there is shocking.
Just absolutely brutal, unthinkable.
Yeah. So fire on their capital, Rabbah, and captivity for their king and princes.
Okay, and the last one in this first round is Moab. Their offense is different, isn't it? Desecrating the dead.
Yes, burned the bones of the king of Edom into lime. It might not seem as immediately violent as the others, but culturally,
What did that signify?
it was the ultimate act of disrespect. In that culture, proper burial was crucial. Burning bones to lime, that was about erasing memory, inflicting total humiliation even after death.
So still rooted in deep hatred.
Absolutely, a profound violation. And again, fire and the removal of leaders is the judgment.
It's a pretty grim tour of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But then Amos turns the focus inward, right, towards God's own people.
He does. And that's where it gets even more pointed, perhaps, the shift to Judah and Israel.
And the nature of their sins is different, isn't it? Less about war, more internal.
Exactly. It's about their relationship with God's law and how they treated each other.
So Judah first. What's the charge?
Despising the law of the Lord, not keeping commandments, being led astray by lies, presumably false teachings or idols.
And the punishment fits the pattern. Fire on Jerusalem.
But then comes Israel. And the list of their sins is, well, it's quite focused on social issues.
Like what?
Selling the righteous for silver and the poor for a pair of shoes.
For a pair of shoes? Seriously.
That's what it says. Also, treading down the poor, extorting wheat from them. It paints a really clear picture of economic exploitation.
It really does. It seems like the powerful were just crushing the vulnerable. Basic fairness gone.
Completely. And Amos connects this directly to their religious life. That's the real kicker.
How so?
He points out them lying down on garments taken as collateral, which was against the law, by the way, right? by every altar.
Wow. So right in the place of worship.
Right there. And drinking the wine of the condemned in the house of their God. It's this jarring mix of religious activity and total injustice.
So the rituals are empty if the behavior is corrupt.
Precisely. Amos is saying their worship is meaningless, even offensive when paired with exploiting the poor. It's not just about going through the motions.
Okay, so after hitting them with these charges, Amos sort of reminds them of their history, doesn't he?
He does. It's like saying, look what I did for you. He talks about destroying the Amorite, bringing them out of Egypt, leading them in the wilderness, God's faithfulness.
And raising up prophets and Nazirites, too. Remind us, what were Nazirites again?
They were individuals who took special vows, dedicated themselves to God, often meant things like not drinking wine, not cutting their hair, a sign of special devotion.
Right. So God provided spiritual leadership. But how did Israel respond?
Terribly. According to Amos, they basically spat on these gifts. They gave the Nazirites wine to drink, breaking their vows.
Actively corrupting them.
Yes, and they told the prophets, prophesy not. They tried to silence the very messengers God sent.
It's just blatant ingratitude,
Yeah.
rejecting the help, rejecting the guidance.
Exactly. Forgetting the blessings, pushing away the correction, and this leads straight into the warnings of punishment.
Yeah, that image he uses, being pressed down like a cart overflowing with sheaves.
It's so vivid, isn't it? It conveys this immense crushing weight of sin. There's no escape.
And the consequences are spelled out. No one gets away.
No one. The swift can't run, the strong lose their strengths, the warrior can't save himself, the archer can't stand his ground.
Even the horsemen can't escape. The bravest flee naked. It's total dismantling.
A complete breakdown of all their human defenses and perceived strengths.
And then comes that really heavy statement in chapter 3 about Israel being uniquely known by God.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Wow. So their special relationship actually means greater accountability.
Precisely. Privilege comes with responsibility, and their failure to live up to it brings a stricter judgment.
Chapter 3 keeps going with those rhetorical questions, right? Like, can two walk together unless they agree?
Yes. Will a lion roar if he has no prey? It's all pointing to God's active hand in events, and why Amos has to speak out. It's not random.
He really calls out the injustice in Samaria, too. Violence and robbery in their fancy houses.
Yeah, implying their wealth is built on oppressing others, and that disturbing image of the shepherd.
Oh, right, rescuing just 2 legs or a piece of an ear from a lion.
It's a metaphor for how little will be left of Israel after God's judgment passes through, to pathetic fragments.
And the symbols of their corrupt worship and wealth, they're targeted too.
Absolutely. The altars at Bethel, a key worship site but clearly corrupted, they'll be destroyed. Their fancy winter and summer houses, the ivory palaces, all gone.
It's a complete stripping away of everything they trusted in besides God.
Exactly. Then chapter 4 gets even more direct, doesn't it? Especially towards the wealthy women.
Ah, the kind of Bashan. That's not exactly flattering.
No, he accuses them of oppressing the poor, demanding luxury, bring and let us drink. And the judgment is stark. They'll be dragged away with hooks, like fish.
A really degrading image. And then he almost mocks their religious efforts.
Yeah, there's that sarcastic invitation. Come to Bethel and transgress. At Gilgal, multiply transgression. Go ahead, bring your sacrifices, your tithes.
But it's pointless.
Utterly pointless, because their hearts are unjust. He's saying their religious activity is actually adding to their sin because it's hypocritical.
He then lists all the things God already tried, right? To get them to repent.
Yes, a whole series of calamities. Famine, cleanness of teeth, meaning nothing to eat. Drought, blight and mildew on the crops. Locusts, plagues, even destruction like Sodom and Gomorrah.
And after each one.
The same refrain, yet have ye not returned unto me, saith the Lord. It's heartbreaking, really, their stubbornness.
Which leads to that incredibly solemn warning.
Prepare to meet thy God, O Israel. There's no escaping it now. And he reminds them who God is, the creator of mountains, wind, the dawn, immense power.
Chapter 5 starts with a lament, like a funeral song.
Exactly. A lament for the virgin of Israel, fallen, never to rise again. He spells out the decimation. A city sends out 1,000, only 100 return. 100 go out, only 10 come back.
Devastating losses. But is there any hope offered?
There is a crucial call. Seek ye me, and ye shall live.
Okay, but there's a catch, right?
A big one. Don't seek God in the corrupted places. Avoid Bethel, Gilgal, Beersheba. Those centers of idolatry are doomed themselves.
So seek God, seek the Lord, or face destruction like fire.
Yes. And he again condemns those who twist justice, turning it into wormwood, something bitter and poisonous, and who abandon righteousness. He tells them, seek the Creator.
He keeps hitting that theme of justice, oppressing the poor, taking bribes.
It's central, and the call becomes even clearer. Seek good and not evil that ye may live. And more than just seeking it passively, hate the evil and love the good and establish judgment in the gate. Be active.
What happens if they don't?
Widespread mourning, wailing in streets and vineyards, because God himself will pass through in judgment.
And that day of the Lord they might be hoping for.
Woe to them. They misunderstand it. It won't be their victory day. It'll be darkness, judgment, gloom for the unrepentant.
Because their worship is rejected.
Completely. Yeah. Feasts, assemblies, offerings, music. God hates it all because it's disconnected from justice.
Which leads to that incredibly famous line.
But let judgment run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. That's the standard. That's what God requires.
And he even accuses them of idolatry way back in the wilderness. Moloch and Chion.
Yes, questioning their faithfulness right from the start, suggesting this tendency towards idolatry isn't new, and it's why exile is coming, beyond Damascus.
Chapter 6 seems aimed at the leadership, the complacent ones.
Definitely. Woe to them that are at ease in Zion, trusting in Samaria, the elite. He basically says, are you better than other kingdoms that fell? Implying, no, you're just as vulnerable.
And he describes their luxury in detail.
Vividly. Lounging on ivory beds, eating prime lamb, singing idol songs, drinking wine by the bowlful, using fancy oils.
While completely ignoring the suffering around them.
Exactly. Yeah. Not grieved for the affliction of Joseph, utter indifference. And the consequence is captivity. Again,
God actually hates their pride and palaces.
Abhors them, the text says, leading to the city's destruction. And the imagery gets really dark houses full of dead bodies, people too afraid to even mention God's name.
Total devastation. And those metaphors at the end. Horses on rocks, plowing the sea.
Yeah, illustrating how completely backwards and unnatural their injustice is. It's absurd, perverse. They're celebrating nothing, boasting in their own strength.
So God raises up an enemy nation.
To afflict them from one end of the land to the other.
Okay, chapter 7 shifts gears a bit. We get visions, right?
Yes, 3 main visions here. First, locusts about to devour everything. Amos pleads, O Lord God, forgive, I beseech thee. By whom shall Jacob arise? For he is small. And God relents.
Then a vision of fire.
Consuming fire. Again, Amos intercedes. And again, God relents. It shows there's still perhaps a window for mercy.
But the third vision feels different. The plumb line.
Exactly. God standing by a wall with a plumb line. It's a symbol of a perfect standard, God's righteousness. And God says he will measure Israel by it, and I will not again pass by them anymore.
The time for relenting is over.
It seems so. Judgment is now set according to that perfect standard. High places destroyed, sanctuaries desolated, the sword against King Jeroboam's house.
And this leads to a direct confrontation.
Yes, with Amaziah, the priest of Bethel. He represents the religious establishment that Amos is condemning.
And Amaziah tells Amos to basically get lost. Go back to Judah.
Pretty much. Accuses him of conspiracy, tells him to go earn his living prophesying in Judah, just not here in the king's sanctuary, trying to silence him.
How does Amos respond?
With dignity and clarity. He says, look, I'm not a professional prophet. I wasn't trained for this. I was a herdman. I gathered sycamore fruit.
Just an ordinary guy.
The Lord took me as I followed the flock, and the Lord said unto me, go, prophesy unto my people Israel. He makes it clear his authority comes directly from God, not from any human institution or personal ambition.
He's basically saying, I have to do this.
Exactly. And because Amaziah tried to shut him up, Amos delivers a specific harsh prophecy against him personally, his wife disgraced, children killed, land divided, his own death in exile.
And against Israel too.
Yes, confirming Israel's inevitable captivity. You don't silence God's word without consequence.
Chapter 8 brings another vision, the basket of summer fruit.
Right. Seems simple, but the meaning is heavy. Summer fruit is ripe, it's near the end of its season, it can't last.
So the end has come for Israel.
That's the symbolism. God says, the end is come upon my people of Israel. I will not again pass by them anymore. No more delays.
And their celebrations will turn too.
Mourning, temple songs become howls, dead bodies everywhere, feasts become funerals, sackcloth and baldness, signs of deep grief.
And that horrifying famine he mentions again.
But this time, it's worse than lack of bread or water. It's a famine of hearing the words of the Lord.
What would that feel like?
Imagine desperately needing guidance, truth, comfort from God, and finding nothing, silence. People will wander everywhere seeking a word from the Lord, but won't find it. It's profound spiritual abandonment.
A truly terrifying prospect. And those who trust idols fall.
They fall never to rise again.
The final chapter, 9, starts with God right there at the altar.
Standing upon the altar, not as the one being worshipped, but as the one executing judgment. He commands the destruction to begin, shaking the very foundations.
And there's absolutely no escape.
None. Whether you dig down to hell, climb up to heaven, hide on Mount Carmel, or in the depths of the sea, God's judgment will find you. Even captivity won't be a refuge from his sword.
He really emphasizes God's total power over everything.
Over the land, causing it to tremble, over nature, and over all nations. He asks that provocative question.
Are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel?
Yeah. He's saying, don't think your chosen status makes you inherently better or immune. He brought the Philistines from Kaftor, the Syrians from Kir. God is sovereign over everyone.
But amidst all this destruction, is there still a glimmer of hope?
There is a crucial distinction. I will destroy the sinful kingdom from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob.
So the kingdom as a sinful entity is finished. But the people, the house of Jacob, won't be completely wiped out.
Exactly. There will be a remnant. They'll be sifted among the nations like grain, but not one true grain, not one faithful person will be lost.
But the sinners who think they're safe.
They will die by the sword, those who say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us.
And then the book ends with this incredible promise of restoration.
It really shifts tone. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, rebuilding the ruins, possessing the remnant of their enemies, bringing nations under God's name.
A future time of incredible abundance.
Yes, the plowman overtaking the reaper, mountains dripping with sweet wine, a complete reversal of the judgment, return from captivity, rebuilding cities, planting vineyards, eating the fruit.
And that final, beautiful promise.
And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land which I have given them, saith the Lord thy God. Security, permanence, restoration.
Wow. What a journey through the book. So summing it up, what are the big takeaways?
Well, first, the unavoidable consequences of social injustice and religious hypocrisy. Amos is crystal clear. Genuine faith demands justice and compassion. Outward shows mean nothing otherwise.
Right. And we see the nature of God's judgment. It's not random, it's specific, it's earned. But even in its severity, there's a purpose, maybe correction, and ultimately that thread of restoration.
Absolutely. And that tension is always there, isn't it?
Right.
Between God's perfect justice demanding consequences and his mercy that preserves a remnant and promises a future.
It really makes you think about today.
Yeah.
How relevant does Amos feel now?
Strikingly relevant, I think. His outrage against exploiting the poor, against twisting justice, against empty religion. Sadly, those things are still with us, you know?
Yeah.
His words are a timeless challenge, really, for us as individuals, for our societies. How authentic is our faith? How just are our systems?
Which leads perfectly into our final thought for you, the listener, to mull over. In what ways, maybe in our own lives or in our communities today, might we be, perhaps unintentionally, turning judgment to wormwood? Prioritizing the appearance of things, maybe a religious practice or a social virtue, over real, concrete justice and compassion.
That's a deep question.
What does it actually mean right now for us to see good and not evil? Something to really ponder.